Good morning. My name's Cheryl and today I'm going to be talking to you about Australian food and nutrient intake and how we measure that. Survey methods are used to record food and nutrient intake in Australia. This leads to the development of guidelines. Lunch Bunch services can use this information and the guidelines available to develop and improve their services. Methods used to measure and record intake include individual methods such as dietary recall and food diaries. Also, national population studies such as the Australian Health Survey can be used to look at food intake across a nation. Now let's look in more detail at individual methods. Dietary recall and food intake diaries are often used in a clinical setting. They are undertaken over periods of 24 hours, 3 days or weekly and can include a food diary or a dietary recall. This information can be assessed along with additional historical information such as health, medication, diet and socio-economic status. The positives include the fact that it is cheap and easy and it's available to all. However, there are negatives. Recall is often ineffective or inaccurate and there's a great chance of reporting bias. The analysis and recorded intake highlights the amount and type of food consumed, the number of serves, and nutrient data. Analysis includes software such as Food Choices or FoodWorks, which helps to determine nutrient intake and under or overconsumption. Here's a screenshot from Food Choices, where you can input the age, the weight, and the height of an individual, and on a separate tab, put information regarding their food intake. At a population level, surveys can be undertaken to determine the food and nutrient intake of the Australian population. For example, the Australian Health Survey, which was undertaken between 2011 and 2013. This included the National Nutrition and Physical Activity Survey, where approximately 10,000 households were surveyed. Questions included food security, food avoidance, physical activity, and dietary recall. So why collect population data? Nutritionists and dietitians analyse the data using programs such as FoodWorks or Food Choices. This helps to break down the daily food and nutrient intake of an individual. Policymakers can use population data from the national studies to develop guidelines such as the Australian Dietary Guidelines. For more information, visit eatforhealth.com.au. In a 2011 study, it was determined that 4% of Australians consumed a recommended vegetable intake, 31% of Australians consumed a recommended fruit intake, and 35% of energy was determined to be from discretionary food. This helps to identify areas in which diet across the population could change. So how is it useful? Food service companies such as Lunch Bunch can use the guidelines and recommendations to develop healthy meal choices and snack selections. It can help to ensure the available items include the type and amount of food and nutrients required by the customers to maintain a healthy, balanced diet. So in conclusion, food and nutrient intake is important at both an individual and a national level. Survey methods have both positive and negative aspects. Information is important for policymakers and the food and beverage industry to help develop guidelines, inform nutrition education, and help to target food groups which are being under or overconsumed. Successful data assessment and analysis should result in a more balanced, healthy diet for the Australian population. Thank you for listening.